Wisdom is the principal thing. All this time just wasted thinking I own anything. Humility clothes me from the top of my head, soles of my feet, yeah. Teach me. Teach me, show me the way. Hide my face from the wickedness of this world, I pray. Take my hand, protect my heart. Hide me in the shadow of your wing. Like a child, see purity in my eyes. Allow me to sit at your feet. Hear me. Hear me. Show me your ways, teach me your paths. I'm yielding to your will. Your loving commitment will endow me, surround me in my coming and my going. Cleanse me, purge me. I want to be white as snow, so I may testify of your love to those in search of you. Show me the way. You desire truth. The inward parts, you make me know you. Take my hand, casting all my cares. Refresh me with the waters of life. Like a child crying softly, forgive me. Allow me to approach your throne. Know me, yeah. Know me. Have mercy upon me, O Elohim, according to your loving kindness. According unto the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only, have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that you might be justified when you speak, and be clear when you judge. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part you shall make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O Elohim, the Elohim of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of your righteousness. O Yahuwah, open up my lips, and my mouth shall show forth your praise. For you desire not sacrifice, else I would give it. You delight not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of Elohim are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Elohim, you will not despise. Do good in your good pleasure unto Zion. Build you the walls of Jerusalem. Then shall you be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar.
All right. I say shalom, shalom. All praise is due to the Most High. I'd like to give thanks and praise to the Most High for this glorious day, this Shabbat day, and for all things. And I'd like to say Kwam Yasharahla. And to all of our listeners, our supporters, and those that are viewing, and those that give support, and those that take heed to the words of the Most High. Yes, and today's topic and subject matter at hand, it will be called mental health issues, and that's a very big subject in amongst us as Black people. I know a lot of us want to talk about it, but a lot of us face mental issues, and due to the fact most of that was done from slavery, the scars of slavery, and some of it have been done because of our own people wickedness towards our own people. And in mental issues, it's a vast topic, man. When I was doing it, I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to eliminate some of it because it was so vast. But some of the topics I want to delve into is, like, for instance, is one that's really big amongst our people, but nobody talks about it, is sexual molestation. That causes mental issues too. A lot of our women are sexually molested by family members, friends, and so forth. Even boys are sexually molested too. All these things create mental issues. Also too, mental issues, man, it's something else, man. But I just want to read some of the stuff I got from I took off from Google, and this is what it states here. Before we jump into our topic, so it says, what causes mental health problems? All right. So this is some of the issues and problems that they had. So what causes mental health problems? They have social isolation. All right. When you're socially isolated from society or from your peers or from a selected group of people. All right. Discrimination, including racism, child abuse, the trauma or neglect. And the trauma of being sexually molested is a heavy trauma that weighs heavy on a lot of females. And a lot of females, when they are sexually molested or taken advantage of or misused, a lot of them turn into lesbianism. They become lesbians. I don't want to deal with no man because they have been molested and messed up in the mind. All right? And that causes a great mental issue. All right? So it says social disadvantage, poverty or debt, long-term physical health condition, losing someone close to you, severe or long-term stress. And severe or long-term stress leads to demons, where you become possessed with demons. So these are the major 7 causes of mental health problems. And what I've seen and studied, the majority of these health issues and problems is directly related to the scriptures. All of it is directly related to the scriptures on the conditions of us being in this condition of captivity from disobeying the Most High laws. All right. So the next part I want to delve into. So we're going to go into this part here. What causes mental health problems? All right. We're going to deal with each one of them and show the scriptures. And then, what are the 5 signs of mental illness? How can you detect mental illness? So it says, what are the 5 signs of mental illness? 1, dramatic changes in eating or sleeping habits. Those are one of the signs of mental illness, according from their research. 2, long-lasting sadness or irritability, being irritable. Those are signs of mental illness. 3, social withdrawal, when you totally withdraw yourself from society. You have no friends, no peers, nobody, you're just a loner. All right, and you tend to become schizophrenic after a while. Okay, and excessive fear, worry, or anxiety. These are the 4 major signs of mental illness. I'll read it again. Dramatic changes in eating or sleeping habits, long-lasting sadness or irritability, social withdrawal, excessive fear, worry, or anxiety. These are the signs, one of the 5 signs of mental illness, and also one more, extremely high and low moods. Extremely high and low moods. These are some of the signs of mental illness. But now, let's deal with the topic at hand, which is what causes mental health problems. Let's deal with the first one, which is social isolation. To be socially isolation. And in looking at this here, I related everything back to the scriptures. And the scriptures pinpoint all of these different isolated incidents that we face as mental issues. Like, for instance, the idea of social isolation. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. We're going to start from the 62nd verse. So the first cause of mental issue is social isolation. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and you can read from, start from the 62nd verse.
Okay. Reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 62. And ye shall be left few in number.
See? So it says, and ye shall be left few in number. All right? Social isolation. All right? And ye shall be left few in numbers. Remember, these were all the conditions or curses that came upon us due to us directly violating the Most High's laws. Continue.
Whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High, thy power.
That's the number 1 criteria and main problem, because we would not obey the voice of the Most High, our power. Continue.
Verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Most High rejoice over you to do you good.
So as the Most High rejoice to do us good, to bless us, give us wealth, good state of mind, prosperity, blessings, riches, all these good things that the Most High had in store for us. Read that verse again.
And it shall come to pass that as the Most High rejoiceth over you to do you good, and to multiply you.
And to multiply us. The Most High multiplied us. Continue.
So the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you.
See, the Most High said, the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy us. Why? Because we brought this upon ourselves by disobeying, disrespecting the Most High. The Most High is not somebody to play with. We have to fear the Most High. And when, as a result of doing these things, all these things develop into mental issues in a period of time. Continue.
And to bring you to know.
And to bring us to nothing. Continue.
And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
See, and the Most High said, you shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it, which is dealing with social isolation, whether it's individuals or a nation collectively. Continue.
Verse 64, and the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so these are all the various forms of religion that we're serving, whether it's Roman Catholic religions, Islam. All these are different forms of religion that we're serving today. Continue.
Verse 65, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
So the Most High said, and amongst all these nations, we will not find no ease. What is that ease? No relief. All right? No break. No goodness. No good solutions. Constant problems. We have no ease amongst these nations. It will be a constant unrest. Continue.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
See, neither shall the sole of your foot find rest. I mean, you're going to be constantly working just to survive. All right? Constantly just trying to survive in a world that we don't fit in. Continue.
But the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart.
See, the Most High is going to give us there a trembling heart. A trembling heart is what? Your mind. Your mind is going to be affected. Continue.
And failing of eyes.
And failing of eyes. Go ahead.
And sorrow of mind.
And sorrow of mind. What is sorrow of mind? Mental issues. Psychological problems. Social problems. All right? You name it. The list goes on and on and on. So these are all the things that we're suffering collectively or individually as a nation of people. All right? So that's one of the first topics, social isolation. Now the next topic is discrimination, including racism. So these are what causes mental health problems. All right? So now from there, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, 28th chapter. Like I said, everything relates back to the scriptures. All of our issues, social, psychological, emotional, physical, spiritual, everything relates right back to the scriptures and the things that the Most High said would happen to us as a nation of people in the face of the earth. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 37th verse. And this deals with discrimination, including racism. Now, what nation of people in the earth have faced one of the most racism, institutionalized racism? Okay? Nobody else in the earth has faced more discrimination and racism than us as a people, as a nation of people. Wherever we are in the earth, we have faced one of the greatest discrimination, racism ever. Wherever we are as a people. Okay? In the islands, the same thing. Okay? Institutional racism here in America, wherever we are, we face the greatest discrimination and racism. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 37th verse.
Reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb.
See what the Most High said? And thou shalt become an astonishment. Something to be amazed at. What the heck? Who are these people? Are they savages? Are they humans? So people is astonished when they see the condition that we're in as a people. The lifestyles that we live. The things that we do. Continue.
And a byword.
And a byword, a proverb, just another common name. Name derogatory names. A proverb and a byword. Go ahead.
Among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee.
So wherever we are in the earth, we're a byword and a proverb. Just a common name. Right? And you know the names. Niggers, coons, sambos, monkeys. All sorts of derogatory names. All right? So from there, now let's go from there to the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. Jeremiah, the 30th chapter and the 14th verse.
Reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee.
So the Most High said, all thy lovers. Who are the lovers referring to? The nations that we love so much, or we want to get involved with and be part of. Most High said, all thy lovers have what?
Forgotten thee.
Has forgotten thee. Go ahead.
They seek thee not.
They don't seek us. None of the nations don't seek us to see our welfare, see how we're doing financially, spiritually, physically, emotionally, socially. Continue.
For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy.
So the Most High said, I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. So the Most High used the enemy to wound us, specifically for what we did against the Most High. Read that verse again.
All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy.
So the Most High said, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. Go ahead.
With the chastisement of a cruel one.
So the Most High said, with the chastisement of a cruel one. And you know, we have been under some cruel chastisement under the hand of our enemies here in America, wherever we are on the face of the earth. Continue.
For the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased.
So the Most High said, for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. So that's why we have all these mental issues. But we try to find out, where are these mental issues coming from? But the root problem to these mental issues, it goes right back to the scriptures. It has to be applied to the scriptures and find out what happened to us and why we ended up in this condition or predicament as a nation of people. All right. So the next problem is social disadvantage, poverty, or debt. All right. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and we're going to begin from the 54th verse. Actually, this is child abuse. Child abuse, trauma, or neglect. And child abuse is a big thing amongst our people. Okay? Whether it's abuse by parents, by family members, sexually abused, it runs deep amongst us as a people.
Right.
All right? And most people don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Sometimes in the islands you hear the father or the uncle sexually molested his nieces. Okay? And then they keep quiet about it.
Right.
There was even this reggae singer made a song about it. Daddy, don't touch me there. What's her name? She sung this song, Daddy, don't touch me there. What's her name? Her name is going to come back. But she was singing about what goes on in the island, about the sexual molestation with uncles and cousins and so forth amongst the young girls at young ages. Okay, girls at young, 10 years old, being sexually molested. All right, and this is a big thing amongst our people. And some people keep it quiet. Why should don't talk about it? But yet they'll talk about faggot and everything else, but they don't talk about what they do to the people, which is wicked. Sexually abusing your daughters, your nieces, all right? Exploiting them, turning them into whores, all right? That's why some of the young girls today like, me don't want a little boy. You want a big man. Why? Because they've been sexually molested. And this thing is big, okay? Amongst us, not over up here too. When you see a lot of females up here have been sexually molested and the mind is not right.
Elder, we have somebody, Abraham Israel said, Queen Ifrica.
Queen Ifrica, yes. She made that song. Daddy, don't touch me there. She sang about it because that was a big thing going on in Jamaica, where they were being molested by their uncles, by close friends that they knew and stuff like that. Running into the parents' house. You know, that's a wicked thing, man. And that has to stop because that destroys a child, especially at a young age, man. I think that's one of the hardest things to get over, to be sexually molested as a child. That destroys a child, man. And even as a boy, when a boy is sexually molested by another man, that thing destroys him. Like the Roman Catholic Church did to boys, that turned them into homosexuals.
Right.
And they didn't want to be homosexual, but because of that happened to them, they became homosexuals. Being constantly bombarded.
Right.
And being misused. So let's go, so the third one was child abuse, the trauma, or neglect. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Because the Most High spoke about all these things. Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Start from the 54th verse.
Read it from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
So the man that is tender, meaning a man that was affectionate, loving, that took care of his family, that was responsible for the welfare of his family, the social being, the mental, the financial, the economical, and all levels. So read that verse again.
Read it from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So his eye shall be evil towards his brother. He's going to become evil against his brother. He will kill his brother in a heartbeat. That's my enemy. That nigga has to die. And that's what we are. We have become so evil towards one another. So he says, I shall be evil towards his brother. These are mental issues. But we think, no, that's not mental. It is a mental issue. The majority of us is suffering from mental issues on different levels. Some is more severe than some. Continue.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And toward the wife of his bosom, towards his wife. He's going to abuse his wife, beat his wife, bust up her face, bust up her eyes, kick his wife up, mistreat his wife. These are all the things that we're facing as a nation of people. Continue.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Meaning he's going to leave his children, neglect his children. Don't take care of his responsibility. These are the curses and the mental issues that's facing 90% of our people wherever we are on the face of the earth. Yes, God.
We have one brother in here who commented, Thought 12. He said, it's wicked in Seattle. They have signs everywhere talking about love is love, it's sick. He's talking about pedophilia.
Yeah, pedophilia. That's another big thing too. Those are all mental issues. So when the scripture says, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, that's happening today. Fathers do not take care of the children. They're gone. They're not in the household. And this started to happen like when? In the 50s. All right? And most women today are what? Single mothers taking care of the household.
Right.
So these are the curses and the mental issues that we're facing. And this affects a woman too.
Right.
And it affects the children in the long run when there's no father in the household.
That's right.
So how could we not say that the Bible doesn't pinpoint all the various issues that we're facing as a people? The Most High laid it out. The Most High said this was going to happen to us. But I'm going to show you that we're going to show the solution in the end to all of this. Because there's a solution to all of this madness. But the Most High had to show us what was going to happen to us in disobeying his laws. Continue.
Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat.
So this happened back in 70 AD when Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans. We started to eat our own children. When there was a famine.
Wow.
Okay, we started to eat our own children. And how do we eat our children today? Some of us, when we sacrifice our children to these different demonic gods to get what? To get power.
Right.
To get advances, to get promotion, to get titles. We sacrifice our family members. Okay, continue.
Because he had nothing left him in the siege.
So when Jerusalem was in the siege, when the Romans besieged it and there wasn't no food, we started to eat our own children.
Wow.
That's a hell of a psychological and a physical problem, man, that you have to eat your own children because there's no food. And guess what? That's going to come back to America too. And it's going to happen amongst these so-called white people too. Okay? The famine is going to get real bad in this country. It's going to be a survival of the fittest. That's going to happen very soon. And we're going to share it in the scriptures too. Continue.
And in straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
So when the Romans distress us in the gates and they besiege Jerusalem, that's what we did. Continue.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
And that goes on today too. Women are evil towards nigga, get out, nigga. You know, man. I don't need you. I could do bad by myself. All this back and forth stuff. So he said her eyes should be evil towards a husband of her bosom. Go ahead.
And toward her son and toward her daughter.
And towards her son and her daughter, which causes child abuse. When you start to constantly beat and abuse your child. Are you stupid, boy? Everything you call your child stupid, you black, you ugly. You just like your daddy. You're no good. And that child grows up with those mental issues and psychological problems. All right? From there, go to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. All right? So child abuse and trauma and neglect. All of this goes into what? Mental issues. But like I said before, to me, one of the greatest mental issues is when somebody is sexually molested. That destroyed that person, man. Okay? And that's a big thing. Okay, Isaiah the 3rd chapter, and start from the 4th verse.
Reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 4. And I will give children to be their princes, and babies shall rule over them.
And that's what we have today. Read it again.
And I will give children to be their princes.
No, not princess. What it says? You sure he said princess?
Come. 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah, come. And it said, I will give children to be their princes.
Okay, go ahead. Right, you're right. Go ahead.
And babies shall rule over them.
And babes shall rule over them. What is that saying? I will give children to be their princes. All right? So instead of having a full, mature adult to rule over us, we have what? Littering as a mindset ruling over us today. Okay? So when you flip it over, you have this so-called white man ruling over us, which he's a child. And then on the flip side, you have young children deciding what should be right for them, telling their parents what they should do and what they shouldn't do, questioning their parents' authority. All right? Go ahead. And it says, babes shall rule over them. Continue.
And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another.
And that's what we have today. We're being oppressed also by our own people too. Your own people oppressing you, robbing you, stealing from you. Right? Holding you up at gunpoint. Run it. Take off those shoes, homeboy. Man, back in the 80s was a big thing up here. Robbing people for their coat, for their 8-ball jacket. Run it, homeboy. Take it off. For your sneakers. Robbing you for your shoes. Right? So our people become oppressors to their own people. Okay? Then your iron, you have a dong in the irons, you got one called a gun. I'm a gun. Where's a gun? You're exploiting your own people. Talking about I'm a gun. You're not exploiting the white man, you're exploiting your own people. Okay? That's oppression. Continue.
And everyone by his neighbor.
You see, and everyone by his neighbor. Continue, your own people. Go ahead.
The child shall behave himself proudly.
See what it says? The child shall behave himself proudly. The children today behave themselves proudly against their parents. You can't tell me what to do. I want a cell phone. I want it now. I'm not getting off the cell phone. I'm talking to my friend. They don't respect their parents. Go ahead.
And everyone by his neighbor, the child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient.
Against the elders. They don't respect your elders today. These children don't respect their elders today. They curse out their elders.
Right.
You old piece of, get over here.
Right.
They'll curse you out.
Right.
They see an elder coming, I sit in the train, I ain't getting up. I paid for my money just like he did. Let the old heifer stand up.
Right.
You understand? These are the issues that's facing us as a people.
Right.
Continue.
When a man...
No, read the fifth, finish reading the 5th verse.
All right. And every one by his neighbor, the child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable.
And the base against the honorable. You got base people exalting themselves over the honorable people. A base, a low life, a damn thug wearing his pants on his behind. He has more esteem than an honorable person. Okay? And that's what's not going on amongst our people. How the hell you a grown man wearing your damn pants down your behind?
Right.
And walking around saying that's fashionable.
Right.
You look so stupid.
Right.
So the Most High said, and the base against the honorable. We have become so base in our behavior and our mentality, which causes mental issues. Okay? But some of us don't think we have mental issues.
Right.
Okay? The next one, let's go from the social disadvantage, poverty, or debt. Let's go to the book of 1 Kings, the 9th chapter. So this is social disadvantage, poverty, or debt. A lot of us are in debt. All right? Got so much debt. All right? So let's go to the book of 1 Kings, the 9th chapter. So all these issues that we have could be related right back to the scriptures. 1 Kings, the 9th chapter, and start from the 6th verse.
Reading from the book of 1 Kings, chapter 9, verse 6. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments.
So the Most High said, but if ye shall at all turn from following me, you or your children. So this is what? This is a generational thing. All right? We have a generational blessing that the Most High gave us, and now we have also a generational curse that we're living in today as a people. So the Most High said, but if you shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, continue,
and will not keep my commandments and my statutes, which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them.
And this was the number one problem. This is the main reason why today, as a nation of people, we're in this condition. From serving other gods that the Most High told us not to serve.
Okay.
Continue.
Verse 7. Then I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them.
And that's what the Most High did. He did cut us off from the land that he gave us. He cut us off from the land, and he cast us out of the land. Now today we're scattered into all parts of the earth, the four corners of the earth. In the Caribbean, Central America, South America, Africa, Europe. We're scattered into the four corners of the earth. In what state of mind? In a impoverished condition. Wherever we are, we're in poverty. You go to Brazil, right? You go down to Costa Rica, Belize, the islands, Mexico, right? Wherever we are, we're in a stricken state of poverty. In Colombia, okay? Any place in the islands, it's poverty. Okay? Why do you think most of our people get into the drug business? Because of poverty. So they say, man, we got to hustle, we got to make up living, man. Got to eat. These dogs got to eat, man. But how are these dogs eating? By selling drugs. Right? Running drugs. Right? And then it start out by what? By weed. Then from weed it goes into what? Cocaine. All right? Continue.
Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have holy for my name will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
And that's what we are today, a stigma. We're a stigma amongst all people of the earth today, wherever we are. We are a byword. We have become a proverb and a byword among all people. Just a common name. But except the names that the Most High gave us. Continue.
And at this house which is high, every one that passes by, it shall be astonished, and shall hiss, and they shall say, why hath the Most High done thus unto this land and to this house?
So this is the question people say, what? If we're the Most High people, why did he do these things to us? If we're God's chosen people, why are we in this condition why we live in such a miserable and despicable way of life, and what happened to us. But there's always a cause and a solution. There's a cause and effect to everything that happens in life. Remember that. There's a cause and effect to everything that we do in life. And everything is based upon what? What you did in the past. What you did in the past catches up to you where? In the present. And it's up to you in the present to fix that problem so you can go forward for the future.
That's right.
If you don't fix the problem you have in the present, your future will never get bright. But it's not up to us. It's up to the Most High that's going to do this. Continue.
Verse 9, and they shall answer because they forsook the Most High their power.
This is the answer, because we forsook the Most High our power. Continue.
Who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them, and served them. Therefore hath the Most High brought upon them all this evil.
So that's what the Most High did. He brought all this evil upon us. Slavery was the evil the Most High brought upon us. Okay? From there, go to Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Lamentations, the 4th chapter. So these are the causes of mental health problems. Lamentations, the 4th chapter, and start from the 16th verse. Right after Jeremiah.
You said the 4 chapters.
Lamentations 4 and 16.
Reading from the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 16. The anger of the Most High hath divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. Verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right, ain't no nation gonna save us from the condition that we in. Okay? Democrats, Republicans, all right? None of these governmental officials, policies that they have is not gonna save us. No nation. Okay, not even Africa is gonna save you. Because Africa is only concerned about what's taking place in Africa and the people of Africa. And as a matter of fact, it's us here in the diaspora that's making Africa great.
Right.
We're the one that's going back and making Africa great. We're the one that's really developing Africa. But no nation is going to look out for us. Read that verse again.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
And no nation can save us. America is not going to save us. That's not their job. Continue.
Verse 18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heavens.
See, now the Most High is giving you an example or a description of who the enemy is. He said, our prosecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. And we look back, the symbol for America, the great symbol, is that eagle. The eagle represents America in everything that they stand for, their emblem. All right? So the Most High is showing you this enemy is the so-called white man. He's giving an example. He said, our prosecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. Meaning how they move against us. The fashion that they use, the tactics that they use, the military operation that they use against us, the psyops. Continue.
They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
All right. From there, go to Isaiah 42. Isaiah 42. And this is going to show you more. It was the Most High that did us using an enemy. The Most High said, I have wounded thee by the wound of an enemy. Isaiah 42. And start from the 19th verse.
Reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 19. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Most High's servants.
So the Most High is referring to our people, because we're the Most High's servants. The children of Israel are the servants of the Most High. So the Most High said, who is blind and perfect blind as the Most High's servants? Continue.
Verse 20, seeing many things, but thou observest not.
So the Most High said, we see many things. We see all the social issues and problems that we're facing, the violence. We see what we went through as a people from the time of slavery up until this present day. We've seen all these things. We're seeing the events of America, how America is dwindling down, the civil unrest that's building, right? We see how the Supreme Court shut down Roe versus Wade. So women cannot get no more abortions now. That's going to create a hell of a civil unrest.
Right.
All right? We're seeing how young white men goes into churches, supermarkets, and shoot up a whole black community.
Right.
All right? We're seeing all these things. We're seeing the hatred against us, the racism, the violence. All right? The outright hatred towards us. We're seeing all these things, but yet we don't comprehend it.
Right.
We just tend to ignore it. But you know why we ignore it? Because of mental issues.
Right.
You know what they call that? They call it Stockholm Syndrome. That's what it is. That's mental issues. A lot of us have Stockholm Syndrome qualities. That's mental issues. But no, brother, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I don't need to see no doctor. But I don't advise you to see no doctor. All right? Therapy is good, and the therapy that you need is to talk about it. That's number one. Talk about it. And then you have to go into the scriptures to relate and how to solve the problem. Because when you go to a doctor, the first thing you're going to do, okay, well, I'm going to prescribe you with some medicine.
Right.
Maybe you need, what do you call it? Cortisone or some crap. Some kind of drug is going to get you addicted.
Right.
When you have schizophrenic problems and you might need to take this drug and then call me in the morning. That's the first thing he's going to do. He's going to prescribe you with drugs. You don't need no doctor. The doctor is the words of the Most High that's going to heal you. Okay? But it's good to have therapy, to talk about it. Talking about it helps alleviate the situation. And when you talk about it, then you could get people that could help you in the situation of your mental issue. Going to the hospital doesn't help. Because the first thing they're going to do is drug you up. That's the first thing doctors always prescribe you with drugs.
Right.
And you don't need that. That's going to cause more mental issues and problems. All right, continue.
Opening the ears.
So the Most High, he said he opened the ears of our people. Continue.
But he heareth not.
But we don't hear. I don't want to hear that, brother. See, brother, that's too traumatic. That's too painful. You need to hear about it.
Done.
I just can't see it. That's from the past, brother. Don't bring that up, brother. But the past is the reason why we're in this condition, why these things are happening.
That's right.
The past is still holding on to you. Continue.
The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. Verse 22, but this is a people robbed and spoiled.
See, the Most High said, poverty. So we are people robbed and spoiled. What are we robbed from? Our nationality, our heritage, our wealth, our resources. We're robbed of everything. For this is the people robbed and spoiled. We were spoiled. They spoiled us. Everything that we invented or created, we were never given the due credit. All the inventions that we made, we never got the pattern or the right amount of payment for it. So the Most High said, this is a people robbed and spoiled. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes.
So we're snared in holes. And those holes, you're going to find out, represents what? The condition of prisons, the ghettos, religions, institutionalization. Continue.
And they are hid in prison houses.
And we're hid in prison houses. We're literally in the prison houses. We make up a large percent of the people in prison for serious offenses and for minor offenses. Continue.
They are for a prey.
So the Most High said, we are for a prey. Go ahead.
And none deliver us.
And nobody deliver us. Nobody said deliver us. Go ahead.
For a spoil.
For a spoil. Go ahead.
And none saith restore.
And nobody said restore back unto us what was robbed or taken from us. Nobody does that. You might have some leaders amongst our people fighting for that. Well, we want reparation. But on a large scale, nobody's saying restore what has been taken from us. Continue.
Who among you will give ear to this?
So the Most High said, who among you is going to give ear to this? Continue.
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for his spoil and Israel to the robbers?
So the Most High said, who gave Jacob for a spoil? Who gave us to be a spoil to the nations? Continue.
Did not the Most High? He against whom we have sinned. For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
See, that's the number one. That's the main result. We were not obedient to the Most High law. Continue.
Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
So the Most High said, he did all these things to us, yet we laid it not to heart. We didn't consider it. Right? Because we were stiff-necked people and rebellious. All right? So the next issue is long-term physical health condition. All right? What causes mental health problems? Long-term physical health condition. And that's something that we're facing as a people. Lots of us. All right? So Sunday, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy 28. Long-term physical health condition. Deuteronomy 28th chapter. And we're going to begin from the 58th verse.
Reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name, the Most High thy power.
So this is what the Most High is telling us through Moses. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear his glorious and fearful name, the Most High thy power. Go ahead.
Verse 59. Then the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful.
See, the Most High said, then he will make thy plagues wonderful. Do we know what's plagues? Plagues are all forms of diseases, mental health problems, social issues, emotional problems, psychological scars, hatred, violence. These are all plagues that's plaguing our people. Continue.
And the plagues of thy seed.
And the plagues of thy seed, a generational problem. Continue.
Even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance.
See, and our people suffering what? A long continuance and sore sicknesses and of long continuance. Diabetes, high blood pressure. The list goes on and on amongst our people. And you know diabetes is rampant amongst our people, man. All right? You used to call it, man, I got sugar. I got sugar. What do you mean you got sugar? That's what you used to call it back then. Sugar. I got sugar. What do you mean you got sugar? Diabetes. You understand? And that's a long played out continuous sickness amongst our people, man. All right? Hatred. That's a sickness too amongst our people. I can't stand that nigga. And that jealousy and that mistrust.
Right.
That's a sickness.
Right.
That's a mental sickness.
Right.
You see a person, yo, I can't stand that nigga. Why you don't like him? I don't know, man. I just don't like that nigga. What do you mean you don't like the man? What he did to you?
Right.
I don't know. I just don't like that nigga. I don't like when you look at me, man. That's a sickness. All right, continue.
Verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt.
So the Most High said, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt. All the disease that Egypt had, we have accumulated those things today. Continue.
Which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee.
And they're cleaving unto our people today. All right? And sexually transmitted diseases too is rampant amongst our people too. I remember one time chlamydia was big amongst our people, man. What are you going to doctor for? The doctor told me I got chlamydia. What? What is that? Then back then in the 60s, you said, yo, you used to call it what? When you get, I got burned. What do you used to call it? Claps. The claps. You know, I got the claps. What? I used to wonder, what was that? All right. So these are some of the things that are affecting our people, man. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 61. Also every sickness.
See, also every sickness, you name it, every sickness. All right, continue.
And every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Most High bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
See, so these are the things that we're suffering as a people. All right. So that shows you who we are. We're the people of the Most High. All these things show you we have the highest rate of medical problems, no medical insurance, no medical benefits. So that shows you that we are the people of the Most High suffering these things. But we're going to show the solution to that. And like I said, thanks be to the Most High, this captivity is coming to an end. Now, like I said, 2026, scholars reported America will be 250 years in the year 2026. And every major empire that ruled, when it came to that 250-year mark, it came to its end. And we're witnessing America's end right now. 2026 is going to make America 250 years as a ruling empire. Look what's happening. You see the issues that's facing America, the civil problems, the social problems. All right? It's that people is resigning and retiring from jobs at a high rate level, man. They said so many pilots retired now, there's shortage of pilots. And flights are being canceled every day. There's backup. Right? Pilots are striking, saying they want more money. America is going through a hell of a crisis right now, man. Inflation. Gas prices. And all these are results of what? The end of an empire coming to its rulership. Those are the signs that the Most High spoke about. And also, too, we have the end of our 400-year captivity. As fulfilled in Genesis 15:30. Everything ties right in. Our 400-year punishment ties in to America's 250-year reign, which is going to bring their empire down. 2026, imagine that. And the way that things is going, and when you sit back and look, right, and you examine everything, a month doesn't even seem like a month no more. A month seems like it's just 2 weeks. How fast a month goes by. A week goes by so fast. Showing how time is speeding up. The Most High said, if he didn't cut the time short, there will be no flesh left to save. Everything is being speeded up so rapidly. We're moving at a fast rate. Okay, continue reading on. What verse you left off here?
61.
61, right? Go ahead, continue reading on.
All right. Verse 62. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High thy power.
Okay, that's it. From there, go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1. So these are the long-term physical health condition that we're facing as a people. All right? Isaiah chapter 1, and start from the first verse. The fourth verse, yeah.
Fourth?
Yeah, fourth verse, yeah.
Reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 4. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Most High. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards.
So we have gone away backwards. The Most High said we have gone backwards instead of forward. And our people have regressed. We're not going forward. They might say, yeah, wait, modern terms, brother, but we're not going forward. We have gone backwards. Continue.
Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick.
So the Most High said the whole head is sick. From the top of us, the whole head is sick. Go ahead.
And the whole heart faint.
And the whole heart faint. What gives you a faint heart? A sorrow of mind, mental issues. Continue.
From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it.
So the Most High said, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness. The Most High said we're like a bunch of blockheads. No understanding. Read that part again.
From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and purifying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
So these are the long-term sicknesses that we're facing. All right, as a nation of people. So it's all of us, whether it's individually or collectively. We're all going through something in this captivity. All right, this slavery has really diminished us, man. It really brought us down to a low level. The Most High said we've been brought down to the lowest level ever in our history as a people. Continue.
Verse 7, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers.
Go ahead, read down to the 9th verse.
Verse 8, and the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard.
So that means, Most High said, and the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard. Desolate, isolated. Continue.
As a lodge in the garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Verse 9, except the Most High of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant.
And this is the point we're living in right now. We're living in this point time right now today. Read that verse again.
Verse 9, except the Most High of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Everybody know what that means? What the Most High is saying?
Should have been destroyed.
Oh. Tell him what he's saying, y'all. What's up?
You see what's going on outside with them, man. Like we'd all turn Sodomites.
Right. So the Most High said, if he didn't leave a remnant of us, all of us would have been like Banyamyan, Sodomites. And that's what's going on today. I'm gay. I choose an alternate lifestyle. So the Most High said, if he didn't leave a remnant, we all would be as homosexuals, man. So the Most High had to leave a remnant of us, man. Because if he didn't leave a remnant, everybody would have been like homosexuals today, man. I choose my alternative lifestyle. What kind of crap is that, man? So you see how true the Most High word? The Most High said, if he didn't leave a remnant, we'd have been just like homosexuals. All of us, man. Thank be to the Most High. Praise the Most High, man. The Most High is so great, man. All right? So from there, let's go to Matthew 4:24. Matthew 4:24.
Read it from the book of Matthew.
Start from 23.
Chapter 4, verse 23. And Yasharahla went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people.
So you see, so even back then, Yahushua was doing it, and the same thing is still happening today. It says all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. And diseases goes from all types of diseases. All right? Continue.
Verse 24, and his fame went throughout all Syria, and they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with divers diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatics.
You know, it's a lunatic, right?
Crazy.
Crazy. That's a mental issue. Okay, go ahead.
And those that had the palsy, and he healed them.
So he healed them. All right? And that power is going to be given again. The Most High is going to give that power again very soon. So he healed them. All right? So from there, the next issue is losing someone close to you. This is what causes mental issues. Losing someone close to you, whether it's a relative, a child, your son, your father, your mother. And we know amongst us, lots of our mothers lost their sons. Lost a lot of sons due to gun violence. All right? They lost their fathers due to police killing their brothers, sisters, aunts. So we suffered a lot of violence. And that's very traumatic too. When a mother loses a daughter or a son. How could you really relate to that person? When they just got, the son just got killed. It's kind of hard. You have to really bring yourself down to their level to show that compassion. All right, so let's go to the book of, Deuteronomy, Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel, the 3rd chapter, and start from the 19th verse. Joel 3 and 19.
Reading from the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
And that's what violence have been done to us. They shed innocent blood amongst us. All right? Continue. Go from there to Zechariah, the 11th chapter. Zechariah 11. Zechariah, the 11th chapter. And start from the 4th verse.
Reading from the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 4. Thus saith the Most High, my power. Feed the flock of the slaughterer.
And we're the flock of the slaughter. We're slaughtered every day. We're being slaughtered every day. Every day you turn on the news, somebody of our people is slaughtered.
Right.
In every city. Remember one time in Chicago, it was an everyday thing.
Right.
Gun violence. Then you got a point that even this Republican said the reason why there's so much gun violence is because of black people. That's kind of, I was like, what is he talking about? Yeah, we kill one another with gun violence, but we don't go in places and shoot up whole places wholesale. We don't go in supermarkets and churches and shoot up places like that. Like the one that came into down south, went into a black congregation, sat there for a whole hour. Then pull out his gun and shot up the whole congregation. We don't do stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, we kill one another because of what?
Curse.
Because of the curse.
Mental disease.
Mental disease, a mental disease.
Right.
Okay? So Zechariah the 11th chapter and the 4th verse. We read that, right? Yeah. Okay, read on.
Verse 5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Right. Who's our possessor today? This white man. He hold himself not guilty when he commits a crime. When the cops kill us and shoot us down, what's the verdict?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Most of the time, not guilty. One of the charges, not guilty. He feared for his life. All right? So stand your ground. Stand your ground. But now you see New York City now is going to pass a law now that you're going to carry a gun now, gun owners. It's going to be a wild, wild west, man. It tells you in the Apocrypha, man. It says they should not regard their kings, man. It says, shall be sedition amongst men. And they're going to have swords in their hand. This whole thing is coming to fruition now.
Right.
We're going to see this thing come to pass. The Most High words are going to come to pass. Like he said, it's going to be sedition amongst men with swords in their hand, and they should not regard their kings nor their princes. They're not going to regard the police authority, the governors. And the Most High said, the course of their action shall stand. Yeah.
We just had a guy last week. He was waiting outside the Supreme Court judge house.
Yeah.
Trying to kill him.
Yeah. They will say, bring him out, bring him out.
That's it.
They want to hang him up. And it's going to come to pass. It's going to happen. Because people is going to be fed up with the government. Right? They be fed up the high cost of living. Jobs don't want to pay. Want to work the hell out of you. One person doing 3-person jobs. All right? They ain't giving no more raises. Ain't no more raise coming. Don't believe that crap. The unions today ain't worth a damn no more. Okay? Things is not the same that it used to be 30 and 40 years ago. Remember when you had a job, you used to work for a company. You'll work for that company like 20, 25 years, 30 years and retire. Most companies is not lasting that long today. If you stay with a company for 5, 10 years, that's a miracle. All right, you see Sears going like a business, right? Sears is shutting almost at least 100 of their stores starting coming Monday.
Right.
Sears, Walmart, they're shutting down. A lot of stores starting to close down. All right, the Salvation Army is shutting down too. They shuttering too, church stores. A lot of things is going like a business because a lot of people is resigning. They say, well, Delta. Just last year alone, amongst Delta employees, it's at least 17,000 workers resigned or retired.
Wow. Wow.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's trickling down to all the airlines.
Right. Right.
It says not enough pilots. Pilots say we work at double time. We can't do that.
Right. Right.
They're being stressed.
That's right.
So to show you the economy, the society is crumbling. It's coming down. Continue.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Most High, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
So our own leaders, those in political position, don't pity us. They go along with the same bullcrap.
Right.
Okay? From there, go to Jeremiah the 9th chapter. Jeremiah the 9th chapter. Jeremiah 9 and start from the 15th verse.
Reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 15. Therefore, thus saith the Most High of Hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gold to drink.
That's on a physical level, and that's on a spiritual level. Because you know what's wormwood, right? Right? And you know what's gall, right?
What is wormwood?
It's like a poison. Right? Everything that we drinking and eating today is poison. It's not beneficial for our consumption.
God.
They put chemicals in it to destroy you. Excessive chemicals, pesticides, preservatives, yeah. Bitterness, yeah. So it's like poison. Who could drink something that's bitter? All right? So read that 15th verse again.
Therefore, thus saith the Most High of Hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gold to drink.
So we're drinking that too, spiritually and emotionally, when we see the violence and the suffering of your loved ones. Continue.
Verse 16, and I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, and I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. Verse 17, thus saith the Most High of Hosts, consider ye and call for the mourning woman, that they may come, and send for cunning woman, that they may come.
So, you know, these are women that were singing the churches, that will sing songs, that will mourn for family members. So you have to be a woman that could sing proper, sing. It's real good. That will comfort the person. You hear about Mahalia Jackson, right? She was a real good gospel singer, man. You know, and that was Martin Luther King. He was one of his favorite gospel singers. And he would call a lot of times when he's going through real stressful moments, man. And when she would sing, that will calm him. And because King went through some stressful moments in this country, man. All right? It wasn't easy, man. You know? Continue.
Verse 17, thus saith the Most High of Hosts, Salah. Verse 18, and let them make haste and take up a wailing for us.
Wailing for us, wail for us, all right? Go ahead.
That our eyes may run down with tears, and our eyelids gush out with waters.
You see, with waters, that's what's happening to our people when they lose a loved one. They're crying. What happened up there a couple of weeks up there by the supermarket in Buffalo, New York? Those people was crying. All right? Went in there, shot up the place.
Right.
And to show you it was premeditated.
Right.
Because he went in there, he scoured the place. He went up there twice. He checked out the area, see it's a black populated area, see who's in the place.
Right.
All right? He scoured the whole area and he premeditated and planned what he was going to do. That's methodically.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, they wasn't crying that hard. They called the cops on us.
Yeah. But when he shot them up, they was crying. They was crying that their loved ones got killed. But the Most High said he was going to do it to our people too because they're very hypocritical. Continue.
Verse 19, for a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. Verse 20, yet hear the word of the Most High, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth.
Why is the Most High stressing women? Because they're the one that mainly goes through that stress of losing their sons or their daughters. And they're the main one that have to take up that brunt of that responsibility. So the Most High said, hear ye women, because they're the one that's suffering and crying all throughout the years when you had the violence in LA with the Crips and the Bloods. You know how many mothers, aunts, grandmothers, aunties cried for their sons, nephews, grandsons because of stupid violence? During the era of the Crips and the Bloods, man, that was something else, man. Gang banging.
Yeah.
Right? So read that 20 verse. Read that 20 verse again.
Yet hear the word of the Most High, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation. Verse 21, for death is come up into our windows.
See, for death is come up into our windows. Go ahead.
And is entered into our palaces.
So what is that death that came up into our houses and into our palaces? It said, for death is come up into our windows and is entered into our palaces. Read the whole thing. Read the whole thing.
All right. For death is come up into our windows and is entered into our palaces to cut off the children from without and the young man from the streets.
What is that? Everybody know what's that? Gun violence, stray bullets.
Straight bullets going to the house.
Stray bullets going to the house, going through the window, through the door, and hitting the target.
Right. Right.
That's not a coincidence, man.
Right.
Gun violence. So the Most High, so that's why the Most High said losing someone close to you causes mental issue.
Right.
Can you imagine in your house and you, pow, stray bullet came in and kill your son or your daughter? And it happened just a couple months ago. What, a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
So these are the issues that we're facing as a people. So who gonna tell me that the Bible doesn't relate to us directly?
That's right.
And pinpointing who we are, the issues that we're facing today. We're the only one that are facing these issues as a people. And you could pinpoint all the issues that we're facing is right here in the Bible. Years ago, hundreds and hundreds of years before it happened. The Most High had it here. But it's up to us to pinpoint and show these things and then to find the solution to these problems. But you know what? Our people really don't want the solution. They prefer to go to a doctor and say, doctor, treat me. But the solution is what? The words of the Most High. And that's what we overlooking as a people. All right. From there, go to Jeremiah, the 15th chapter and the 7th verse. Jeremiah 15 and 7.
Reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 7.
Start from 6.
6.
The 6th verse.
Reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 6. Thou hast forsaken me, said the Most High. Thou art gone backwards. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting. Verse 7. And I will fan them with a fan in the gates of the land.
Anybody know what's that fan, right? That fan is death, destruction. A fan to the Most High represents death and destruction. Read that verse again, 7.
And I will fan them with a fan in the gates of the land. I will bereave them of children.
See what's happening? I will bereave them of children. Go ahead.
I will destroy my people, since they return not from their ways.
See? And we don't want to return from our ways. Continue.
Verse 8. Their widows are increased.
How many widows we have amongst our people today? A whole lot of widows. Go ahead.
Above the sand of the seas, I have brought upon them against the mother of the young men a spoiler at noonday. I have caused him to fall upon it suddenly, and terrors upon the city.
All right, that's it. So that's some of the mental issues, losing someone close to you. And then the last one, severe or long-term stress. All right, and that stress leads to depression. It leads to demons. All right, it leads to you committing suicide. It leads to a whole lot of different things. And we're stressed as a nation on all levels. All right, from there, go to Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51, and start from the 17th verse. Isaiah 51 and 17.
Reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 17. Awake, awake, stand, O Jerusalem, which has drunken at the hand of the Most High, the cup of his fury.
See, and we have drunk of the Most High fury. We have drunk of that cup. All right, we have tasted of that fury. Continue.
Thou hast drunken the dredge of the cup of trembling, and wrung them out.
Everybody know what I mean? It says, thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup. You know what I mean?
That's that monkey at the bottom.
The last of it done. Most I said, we have drunk everything from the fullness of it to the bottom of it. Yeah.
It's like he poured out a whole cup.
The whole cup of mixture on us. So the Most High did a number on us using the enemy. The Most High is vicious when we don't obey the Most High, man. That's why the Most High said, fear me. Because the Most High could do things to you that nobody else could do, man.
God.
And the Most High said he used our enemy to do these things against us. All right, continue.
Verse 18.
So the Most High said we wrung it out. So when you try to wring it out, there's nothing left. Like you wring out a cloth and just the dregs of it coming out the bottom. We have wrung up all of the Most High fury. Every bit of it, man. We didn't escape nothing that the Most High put against us, man.
Wow.
Continue.
Verse 18. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth.
There's none to guide our young sons. They're a bunch of little demons. I gotta say it, man. Little demons, man. These young boy bucks out here, man.
Right.
You can't talk to them, man.
Right.
Nigga, you my daddy, nigga. Who the hell are you, nigga? What? You a son? I ain't your son.
And the new thing they like saying is, and they say it too, they're on demon time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a demon time. They know. See, because a demon. What is a demon? A demon is an all-knowing spirit, an intelligently high intelligent spirit.
Right.
So they know. I let them know exactly what they're doing, but they don't give a damn and they don't care.
Right.
So what if I go to jail? I know if I go up there, I'm gonna do 2 to 5 years. I'm gonna tell the judge, you know what? They already know, yo, son, I'm doing 5 to 7 years. Good behavior, I'll be out. They know the rap. Yo, if I smoke that nigga, I'll do maybe 10 years. But good behavior, I'll be out in 5. They know the rap sheet, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, they know the law better.
Yeah, they know the law. But what killed me is, how could you love being in jail, man? For the hell of me, man. I can't understand that, man. It's filthy, it's stink, it's dirty. No response. You got no freedom. You got nothing up there. You owned by the state, man. How could you love that, man? Yo, I'm going back up, son. I ain't telling nobody that crap, brother. Crazy? If I'm there, I want to get the hell out of that place, man. And I ain't going back there, man.
Done.
You take pride in a crap like that, man. It's crazy, man. But that shows you what? Mental issues. We have become institutionalized by the system. For you to love something that oppresses you, man. Continue.
Verse 19. These 2 things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee?
Yeah, so the Most High said, who's going to be sorry for us? Who's sorry for us? Continue.
Desolation and destruction and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Verse 20. Thy sons have fainted.
So the Most High said, thy sons have fainted. Not faint, but they're passing out. They have lost their minds.
Right.
Okay, continue.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
Ain't that so? Look out the block wherever you go. Chicago, Philly, Boston, anywhere you go, in the islands. Where in the corners? Doing what?
Nothing.
Oh man. Oh. Shooting crap. Shooting dice. Eh? All right? We're in the corners just doing talking crap. Drinking a 40. That's a common trait amongst us. Well, if you ain't a 40, what? Give me a Heineken. Drinking a Heineken. All right? So the Most High says, read that verse again. Thy sons have fainted.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
They lie at the heads of all the streets. Go ahead.
As a wild bull in a net.
You know it's a wild bull in a net? You can't stop or control a wild bull, man. Continue.
They are full of the fury of the Most High, the rebuke of thy power. Verse 21. Therefore hear now this thou afflicted and drunken, but not with the wine.
So the Most High said, therefore hear now this, thou afflicted. We're afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. So what are we afflicted with? Mental issues, mental problems. Because you said we're not drunk with wine. They're not drunk with wine. All right? Read that last part again. Therefore hear now this. 21.
Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted.
So we're afflicted. Continue.
And drunken, but not with wine.
Continue.
Verse 22. Thus saith thy power, the Lord, and thy power, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling.
So the Most High said, you have taken out of our hand the cup of trembling. Go ahead.
Even the dregs of the cup
Even
of
the dregs of the cup of his fury. Go ahead.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
So the Most High said, we shall no more drink of it again. Okay, after this year, we're not going to drink no more of the Most High fury. Go ahead.
Verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
Ain't that good? Ain't that a beautiful thing? But the Most High said, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee. Now the Most High is going to reverse it back on them that did it to us.
Right.
And that's what's coming upon this system now.
Right.
Go ahead, read that verse again.
Verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over.
Yeah, they said, bow down, nigga, that we may go over. They might just walk over us, misuse us. All right? Treat us like garbage. Continue.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
And that's what they did. They had no regards to us, man.
Right.
In the civil rights movement, that's what they did. They sick the dogs on us, and we're in the street line on. They stomp over us,
Right.
beat us with the billy club. They just inhumanly just beat the hell out of us, man. They didn't give a damn, man. And you know what it is to sick a dog on a person, man? And that dog bite into your flesh, man. And then spray the water hose, man. They say when you spray that water hose, that could take off the bark of a tree, man.
Sting too.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
All right? Go to Isaiah the 14th chapter. Isaiah 14 and start from the first verse down to the fourth verse. And then we're going to speed up a list. And then after we get to the solution to this problem. What's the solution to the problem?
Isaiah 14.
14 and 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob.
And the Most High has to have mercy upon us. In the condition that we're in, we need the Most High mercy, man.
That's right.
Continue.
And will yet choose Israel.
And the Most High said he will yet choose us. Why? Because we broke his laws, but he yet gonna choose us. For all that we did, the Most High still is gonna choose us. Go ahead.
And set them in their own land.
And he's gonna set them in their own land. He's gonna set us back up in our land. Continue.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Yeah, the strangers gonna be drawn with it, and they're gonna cleave unto us when they see on the Most High put us back up in power to rule this earth in righteousness. Continue.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids.
And we're going to possess them for servants and handmaids. Go ahead.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Check that out. And we're going to rule over our oppressors.
Oh, praise.
I know when a white man reads this, he probably say, oh my gosh, that's talking about me. Ain't no way you could get over that. Because the people in Israel is not oppressed. Who are they being oppressed by?
Right.
Not the Palestinians. They overpower the Palestinians every day.
That's right. That's right.
So that's not talking about them. So the Most High said, we're going to rule over our oppressors, man. That's what all of us should want, to rule over our oppressors, man. Right? Continue.
Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
So what he says, and it shall come to pass, a future, it says future tense, that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. Go ahead.
And from thy fear. And from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. And we serve hard bondage, brother and sister. Nobody else serve hard bondage like us, man. So that's showing you it's talking about us. Go ahead.
Verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
So the Most High said, now that it's coming to an end, we're going to take up this taunting proverb against the king of Babylon. Go ahead.
And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
And the Most High said, we're going to take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. How has the oppressor ceased? How is the oppressor coming down now? How is he about to lose his seat? All right. Now, okay, that's it on that, right? Go from there to Matthew's the 8th chapter. Matthew's 8:28. So now, long-term stress leads to demons, right? And demons is a problem. When you see a lot of people on the train talking to themselves, stirring up on the train, walking down the street, those are mental issues that leads to demons. You see a guy wearing a winter jacket at 80 degrees. You know that's a mental problem. How are you gonna wear a winter jacket in 82 degrees and got it zipped up? Walking with a shopping cart, talking to yourself. That's a serious problem. Okay? You see a guy in the train, hey! Saw one the other day, he hold a Chinese woman by here. It was holding up by a hair.
Yeah, on the train.
It was holding up by a hair. She was just, he was just going on looking at her. I was like, what is he gonna do with her? Then he got stopped on the train, just walking around. He just held her by a hair, man.
And everybody was just
there looking at her. He could just hold and slam her against the glass, man. But he had demons on him. Legions of demons, man.
Wow.
Okay? So let's go to Matthew, the 8th chapter. Matthew 8, and start from the 28th verse.
Read it from the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verse 28. And when he was come to the other side into the country of the
Gadarenes.
The Gadarenes, there
Excuse
met
me, the Gerasenes, yeah.
and when he was come to the other side into the countries of the
Gerasenes.
there met him two possessed with the devils.
They met him two possessed with devils, demons. All right? Mental problems. Go ahead.
Coming out of the tombs.
So they're coming from the tombs. They weren't dead. They were living in the tombs, living in desolate places. Okay, go ahead.
Exceeding fierce.
Exceeding fierce, strong, vicious. Go ahead.
So that no man might pass by that way. Verse 29, and behold, they cried out, saying, what have we to do with thee, Yahweh?
So now, there's the demon in them crying out. Crying out. What have we to do with you, Yahweh? But how did they know who he was? Because a demon is a highly intelligent spirit. Right? And you have folly demons, and you have highly intelligent demon spirits. Continue.
Thou son of the Most High, art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
Say, are you come to torment us before our time? Continue.
Verse 30, and there was a good way off from them, and heard of many swine feeding. Verse 31, so the devils besought him, saying, if thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. Verse 32, and he said unto them, go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine, and behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters. Verse 33, and they that kept them fled, and went their ways into the city, and told everything, and what was befallen to the possessed of the devils. Verse 34, and behold, the whole city came out to meet Yahushua, and when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coast.
Why they wanted him to depart from out of their coast? Why would they want him to depart out of their coast? Read 34 again.
All right. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Yahushua, and when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coast.
Why would they want him to depart from their coast? That too, yeah.
all the miracles that he was doing.
Right. And two, he cast out the demons out of those people. So they say he could cast out the demons, what else could he do? That's right, because that's a great power to cast out demons out of people. You just can't go and cast out demons just like that. You have to be right. You have to be clean. Your spirit got to be right. Because if you're right, then demons will jump right into you, man. And you become worse than that demon that you cast out that demon. So you have to be very careful, man. You understand? So you have to be clean. And you can't have no fear neither. You have fear and demons gonna laugh at you, man. They'll make mockery of you. So it's real. Demons are real. Spirits are real, man. People out there have demons on there, man. And some that can recognize you. They'll look at you. Some will test you.
I know Paul.
Yeah, I know Paul. But who are you? You understand? And the demon jump in that person. They recognize Paul. You understand? But it's not good to go and mess with people that have demons, man. Let them be, man. You know what I mean? Unless you have that power to cleanse and call that demon, don't mess with them, man. You don't want a demon jumping on you, man. Right? Okay, go from there to the book of Mark, the 5th chapter. It's the same story, but it gives a little more to it. Mark, the 5th chapter. Mark 5:1. So, long-time stress leads to demons. It builds up demons in you because you have no way to get therapy to deal with that issue. All right, Mark chapter 5, verse 1.
Reading from the book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 1. And they came over unto the other side of the sea, unto the country of the Gadarenes. Verse 2. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit.
See, unclean spirit. All right, unclean spirit is a demon. Mental issues. When a lot of times people are in the mental institution, why do you think they call it a mental institution? Because they got demons in there. That's a mental problem. Everything starts from the mind up here. Continue.
Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains.
They couldn't even bind him with chains. He would break those chains. That's how strong and powerful that demon was in him. Strong. They couldn't bind him. Some people can't put handcuffs on them. They'll break them damn handcuffs because the demon's so strong. But a normal person just can't break no handcuffs like that. You'll break up your wrist, man. You tear your wrist up, man. Right? Continue.
Because that he had been often bound with fetters.
See, he was oftentimes bound with fetters. Fetters are iron, chains. All right? Continue.
And chains. And the chains had been plucked asunder by him.
Check, you hear that? He popped those chains, man. That's a madman. He popped the chains, man. You know, chains ain't no weak thing to pop, man. A link of chain wrap around you, tied up, and you pop them. That's some super demonic spirits in you, man. All right, continue.
And the fetters broken in pieces.
See, and the fetters broken in pieces, man. Continue.
Neither could any man tame him.
No man could tame him. In today's day, they'll do what? If they found a person, what would they do with him?
Drug him.
They do what?
Drug him.
Yeah, drug him, tranquilize him, yeah. To tame him. Like I do a beer. Give him a tranquilizer. You can't approach him. You can't approach him. He's gonna destroy you, man. You gotta shoot them with taser, man. Tranquilize him and then tie him up. All right, go ahead.
Verse 5. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones.
See? That's a heavy demon. Cutting himself with stones. Crying up, man. Demon, man. That's a hell of a thing, man. Continue.
Verse 6. But when he saw Yahushua far off, he ran and worshipped.
Check that out. But he recognized that spirit of Yahushua. But when he saw Yahushua afar off, he ran and worshipped him. So I mean, his spirit was crying out to be healed too. Eventually, because he saw him from afar off, and he ran and worshipped him. All right, continue.
And cried with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with thee, Yahushua, thou son of the Most High Power? I adjure thee by Yahweh, that thou torment me not.
He said that thou torment me not. Okay, go ahead.
For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit.
So Yahushua commanded the unclean spirit to come out of him. He said, come out of him. Call that unclean spirit, man. That's some real power, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 9, and he asked him, What is thy name?
And he asked him, what is your name? But he wasn't speaking directly to the man. Who was he speaking to?
Spirit.
That spirit, that demon that was in him. All right? He said, what is thy name? Go ahead.
And he answered, saying, My name is Legion.
My name is Legion.
For we are many.
For we are many. That's like 2,000 demons in him, man. That's a lot of demons.
Wow. Man, that goes to show you that even clean and unclean spirit respect them, respect Yahushua.
Yeah.
You know, he's
You understand? That's a whole lot of demons, man. To deal with a person, you can't relate to a person like that, man. but he respect and saw the authority of Yahushua. That's that power. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 10, and he besought him much that he would not send them out of the country. Verse 11, now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. Verse 12, and all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them.
I want to know why the swine. Because it's an unclean thing too.
Right.
You know what I mean? This should make people not want to eat pig when they see that, man. Because a pig is an unclean creature, man.
Right.
Don't you know a serpent could buy a pig and he just... It won't kill him.
No.
He'll just... Imagine that? And a serpent bites you, you're going down.
Right.
Unclean beast, man. All right, go ahead.
And all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. Verse 13, and forthwith Yahushua gave them leave.
And Yahushua gave them leave. Said, go into him. Go ahead.
And the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine.
And those unclean spirits went into the swine, man. Go ahead.
And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea.
So imagine 2,000. And guess what? Let me hit you with something too. That also goes for a woman when she receives a lot of men too. She takes on that personality of that man, of those different men. That DNA stays in her. You understand? So that's why it's very important too. Because spirits, everybody has their own unique spirit. Right? And you could put your spirit in a person too. But it comes mainly when you lie with that person. That's why Scripture said you become one with that person. When you put your vibes and your energy. You understand? So that's very important too. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 14. And they that fed the swine fled, and told it in the city and in the country, and they went out to see what it was that was done. Verse 15, and they come to Yahushua and see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion sitting and clothed and in his right mind.
See, he was in his right mind. See, his right mind. So it was a mental issue, a mental problem. All right, he was in his right mind. Go ahead.
And they that saw it told them.
And they were afraid. And they were afraid. Okay, okay. Now read 16 now.
All right. And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. Verse 17. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast.
Continue.
Verse 18. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him.
See, so now the guy that was possessed with the devil, he wanted to go with Yahushua. He wanted to be with Yahushua. All right? Because he saw the part Yahushua did to him to relieve and take away those demons. Go ahead.
Verse 19, howbeit Yahushua suffered him not. But
see, but he says, howbeit Yahushua suffered him not. Go ahead.
Howbeit Yahushua suffered him not, but saith unto him, go home to thy friends.
Yahushua said, go home to your friends. Go ahead.
And tell them how great things the other one had done for thee, and had compassion on thee.
So why did Yahushua send him back home?
Bear witness.
To bear witness. All right? That the Most High had mercy upon him. To show the power of the Most High.
Right.
All right? Continue.
And he departed and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Yahushua had done for him, and all men did marvel.
All right? And to show the greatness and the power of the Most High that worked through Yahushua. All right? So now, we're going to show you now what's the solution to the problems. All right? So I might have to do a part 2 to this because we're going to close up. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. Now, this is a solution to the problem of mental illness. Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. Let's start from the 12th verse.
Read it from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 12. Go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, return thou backsliding Israel.
See, that's what the Most High said. The Most High called it backsliding. All right, go ahead.
Saith the Most High, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful.
So the Most High said, for I am merciful. Go ahead.
Saith the Most High, and I will not keep anger forever.
See, and the Most High said he will not keep anger forever. The Most High is not going to be angry with us forever. Continue.
Verse 13. Only acknowledge thine iniquity.
So the Most High said, this is the first step to be healed of any process. Only acknowledge thine iniquity. All right, read that verse again.
Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Most High thy power, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, said the Most High.
Go ahead.
Turn, O backsliding children, said the Most High, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
So this is the healing process now the Most High is going to do for us when we do these things. Continue.
And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land in those days, said the Most High, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Most High, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore. At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of the Most High, and all nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of the Most High, to Jerusalem, neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil heart.
Now jump down to 22.
Verse 22, return ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backslidings.
So the Most High said, return ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backslidings. Go ahead.
Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art the Most High, our power.
Okay. Now from there, go to Jeremiah 33. Jeremiah 33 and 6. Jeremiah 33 and 6.
Behold, I will bring it health and cure.
So the Most High said, behold, I will bring it health and cure. The Most High is going to bring health and cure to us. All right, go ahead.
And I will cure them.
And I will cure them. Go ahead.
And will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth.
So the Most High said, and I will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth. And that's what we need as a people. Peace. Peace of mind, peace of everything. We need peace as a people. All right? We've been divided for a long time, man. Continue.
And I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel to return, and will build them as at the first.
So all this has to do with our captivity. When the Most High return our captivity, that's how he's going to heal us and give us back the right perspective that we once had. Go ahead.
And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me, and I will pardon all their iniquities, whereby they have sinned, and whereby they have transgressed against me. And it shall be to me a name of joy, a praise and honor before all the nations of the earth, which shall hear all the good that I do unto them.
See, all the good that the Most High is going to do unto us. Go ahead.
And they shall fear and tremble all the goodness and for all the prosperity that I procure unto it.
So the Most High said, for all the prosperity that I procure unto it. The Most High is going to bring us back prosperity, health, longevity, the whole, everything, man. Riches. Continue.
Verse 10, thus saith the Most High, again there shall be heard in this place, which ye say shall be desolate without man and without beast, even in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem that are desolate without man and without inhabitant and without beast. Verse 11, the voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the voice of them that shall say, Praise the Most High of hosts. For the Most High is good, for his mercy endureth forever.
Kind.
And of them that shall bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of the Most High. For I will cause to return to the captivity of the land, as at the first, saith the Most High. Thus saith the Most High of hosts, again in this place which is desolate without man and without beast.
So when our land became desolate, go ahead.
And in all the cities thereof shall be a habitation of shepherds, causing their flocks to lie down.
See, it shall be a habitation of shepherds, causing their flocks to lie down. There's going to be abundance of green pasture for our flocks. All right, go ahead.
In the cities of mountains, in the cities of Vale, and in the cities of South, and in the land of Benjamin, and in the places about Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, shall the flocks pass again under the hands of him that telleth them, saith the Most High.
So you know in the land of Judah, when you go south, what type of terrain is that? When you go south of Judah, what type of terrain is that? Rocky, mountains, desert. The Most High is going to bring it into green pasture, fruitful lands. Read to 14.
Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel and to the house of Judah.
So the Most High said, behold, the days come. It says future. Saith the Most High, I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. So the Most High is going to perform that good thing he promised us. From there, go to Psalms 119 and 9. Psalms 119 and 9.
Reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way, by taking heed thereto according to thy word.
So how do you cleanse yourself physically and spiritually? By taking heed to the Most High word. All right, continue.
Verse 10. With my whole heart have I sought thee. O let me not wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou.
That's it. From there, go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to speed up a little bit. Wisdom of Solomon, the 16th chapter. And start from the 12th verse.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 12. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health.
See, for it was neither herb, nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health. Go ahead.
But thy word.
But thy word, the Most High word, what's going to heal you. Go ahead.
Which healeth all things.
See, which healeth all things. Go ahead.
For thou hast power of life and death. Thou leadest to the gates of hell and bringest up again.
All right. From there, go to Matthew 11. Matthew 11:28. Matthew 11:28.
Reading from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
All right. From there, go to 1 Peter 2:1. 1 Peter 2:1. First Peter chapter 2, verse 1.
Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babies desire the sincere.
Not so fast.
Oh,
As
so
newborn babies. We start from the top again.
All right. Reading from the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babies desire the sincere milk of word.
Desire the sincere milk of the word. Go ahead.
That ye may grow thereby.
That ye may grow thereby. Go ahead.
If so be ye have tasted that the other one is gracious.
All right. From there, go to 1 Peter 1:23.
Reading from the book of 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 23. Being born again not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of Yahweh, which liveth and abideth forever.
See, everything is by the word of the Most High. The word of the Most High is what heals you. All right? Hearing the word of the Most High cometh by faith. Faith cometh by hearing the word of the Most High. Go to Romans 10:17 real quick. Romans 10:17.
Reading from the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing.
So then faith cometh by hearing. Go ahead.
And hearing by the word of Yahweh.
And by hearing the word of the Most High. That's how you get healed. All right. From there, go to Romans 12 and Titus 3 and 5. Titus 3 and 5. That's before Hebrews. Right after Timothy. Titus 3 and 5. Right after Timothy.
Reading from the book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 5. Not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy, he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit.
All right. From there, go to Romans 12 and 1.
Reading from the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
See, that's the key now. You have to present your body as a living sacrifice. Continue.
Holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
Which is your reasonable service. Go ahead.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
See, you have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind has to be renewed. Go ahead.
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
All right, and the last scripture, we're going to do this real quick. Go to 1 Kings, the 8th chapter. 1 Kings, the 8th chapter. And this was a prayer that Solomon made for the whole entire nation of Israel, asking the Most High to hear and to bless and to heal us as a people. Right? And this prayer is a very profound prayer that Solomon prayed for us. Because Solomon foreseeing the condition that we're going to be in as a people. So when he did these prayers, he did it right in time, because he knew what was going to happen to us as a people. And that's one thing with us as a people. We are what you call visionists. The Most High gave us prophetic abilities and things to see the future of things that's going to happen to us and the end results of it. When you read the history of our forefathers, you'll see that. All right? 1 Kings, the 8th chapter, and start from the 28th verse.
Read it from the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 28. Yet have thou respect unto the prayer of thy servant, and to his supplication, O Most High, my power, to hearken unto the cry and to the prayer which thy servant prayeth before thee today.
So, read the 22nd verse so we get an understanding who did this prayer. The 22nd verse.
And Solomon stood before the altar of the Most High in the presence of all the congregation of Israel and spread forth his hands toward heaven.
Okay, now jump down to 28.
Verse 28. Yet have thou respect unto the prayer of thy servant and to his supplication, O Most High, my power, to hearken unto the cry and to the power and to the prayer, Salah, which thy servant prayeth before thee today, that thine eyes may be open toward his house night and day, even toward the place of which thou hast said, my name shall be there, that thou mayest hearken unto the prayer which thy servant shall make toward this place.
So he was asking the Most High to hearken unto his prayer, which thy servant shall make towards this place. Go ahead.
And hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant and of thy people Israel, when they shall pray toward this place, and hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive.
And he said, when you hear us, Most High, forgive your people. Go ahead.
If any man trespass against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and do, and judge thy servants, condemning the wicked to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous to give him according to his righteousness. When thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee, and confess thy name, and pray, and make supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou gavest unto their fathers.
So everything is predicated on us returning back and praying to the Most High. That's the key to everything that's facing us as a people.
Come.
Continue. Read on.
When heaven is shut up and there is no rain, because they have sinned against thee, if they pray toward this place and confess thy name and turn from their sin, when thou afflictest them.
See, when there's no rain, when the Most High afflict us, we pray unto the Most High. Continue.
Then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy servants and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way wherein they should walk, and give rain upon thy land, which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. If there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locust, or if there be caterpillar, if their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities, whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man, or by all thy people Israel.
So it says, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all the people of Israel, go ahead.
Which shall know every man the plague of his own heart.
That every man which shall know every man the plague of his own heart. So everybody knows his own plague that he's going through. All right, go ahead.
And spread forth his hands toward this house.
Go ahead.
Then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive and do, and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest. For thou, even thou only, knowest the hearts of all the children of men.
See, go ahead.
That they may fear thee all the days that they live in the land which thou gavest unto our fathers.
That's it. All right. Now from there, jump down to the last verse, and we'll close 39th verse. 39th verse.
Then hear thou in the heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive and
No,
do.
excuse me. I'm sorry. We read that, right?
Yeah,
45, the 45th verse.
All right. Verse 45. Then hear thou in heaven their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
And that happened to us. We all know that happened to us. We were carried away captives by our enemies, far and near. All right, go ahead.
Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captive,
So the Most High said, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, what does it mean to bethink themselves?
Bring back into remembrance.
To bring back into remembrance. Why has this happened to us and why? Go ahead.
they will carry captives and repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and prayed unto thee toward their land which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer.
So he said, then hear thou their prayer. Go ahead.
And their supplication in
And
heaven,
their supplication in heaven. Go ahead.
thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause.
And maintain their cause. One more scripture. I'm going to close out. Go to James, the 5th chapter. I'm going to close off on this. So this is the solution to the problem. These were all the solutions to the problem. And the 14th verse. Start from 13.
Reading from the book of James, chapter 5, verse 13. Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray.
So it's the key. The key is always to pray. All right, go ahead.
Is any merry? Let him sing psalms. Is any sick among you?
Is there any sick among you? Go ahead.
Let him call for the elders of the church, and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Most High shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him.
All right. So with that, I say shalom. And that ends my class on mental issues. Shalom.